Yo, what up, what up? For Hype Radio, I'm Manny, and this is Soundcheck, a show that looks to discover the origin story of your favorite artist or major player in the music industry. We ask the questions that you always wanted to get answered, and you never know who may pop by. For episode 1, we have WiLL Made It and Trouble, two of Atlanta's most important figures in music. Fresh off the release of their collaborative album, Edgewood, the two Southern stars talk about their start in the industry, overcoming adversity, and being at the right place at the right time. Welcome to Soundcheck. Excited to have this because we have two people that I'm really big fans of. I'll let y'all introduce yourselves.
Well, that's my partner Mike. WiLL Made It.
Big Trouble, baby.
And I'm Big Trouble, baby.
Nice, nice. So the beginning, I usually ask about the origin story. So each person origin story. So I start with you, Trouble. Tell me about young Trouble and how did you get into music?
Well, shit, I really I came in the game really soon as I came home. Like I had to end up getting caught up on the situation like in 2008, early 2008. Ended up catching with a lot of charges: kidnapping, armed robbery, aggravated assault, pistol by convicted felon, pistol during intent crime, home invasion, bunch of other bullshit. Jeez. But I ended up getting it out. My lawyer got it knocked down to just for the aggravated assault and trespassing type shit for the pistol or whatnot. I ended up taking 7 years for it, and I did 2 years off for it, and I had 5 years left on paper. So now getting rid, like I ain't had no music or none of that. Like before I got out of prison, like I just had a couple songs that I had done tried working on or whatnot, just being out of the studio, cause we were just backing my boy AB at the time, like with the Mafia, the Duct Tape Mark. Yeah. Like we were just backing AB, so I really wasn't serious about it on no level at all. Like so when I was getting ready to come home, I was just having different conversations with my OG Big Bank. And he was just telling like, bro, you gonna be on the same bullshit or you gonna go ahead and take the music serious? Cause like the whole streets all always forever been backing me, like they know where I come from with it, and I don't always had all the latest support, you know what I'm saying? So he like, bro, you can really take it to another level, like if you just get on it and get for real about it. So when I came home, I was like, shit, let's get to it. So that was like beginning of 2011. So that was actually when I first started, and I came out with the Bussin for Trouble and the World Go Around. That was my begin and my intro into the game or whatnot. And now I went through a lot of different situations, like coming up from that point to being discouraged by a lot of different things and to the way dudes were moving and a lot of shit that came along with the game. Where I stopped for probably like a year and a half for real, like fuck it, man, you know what I'm saying? And I ended up linking up with me and Mike. We actually been rocking like since my early days, you know what I mean? Me and Brody's always around each other, and he was always on my line just trying to give me that extra push, you know what I'm saying, that extra motivation. I just went there for it, like mentally, for real, you know what I mean? But being able to see from him go all the way from the ground up to the top of the game before like where he at with it now, it kind of juiced up my belief to know like, all right, this shit can pop off for real. So when he actually called me, when he got back up in the city and was like, pull up at the studio, I go ahead and jumped out my comfort zone for a minute, like, fucking, I'm going on out here. And we went out there, chopped it up for about an hour or so. And before you know it, he back playing them bangers and shit for me. We go in, we do like 4 records out gate. And then before you know it, we building up the project. We like, shit, we might as well do a whole one together for the streets and just put that real feel back out here. Cause it was we both just felt like it was just like the game was missing just a true feeling. Like a lot of folks were making songs or good club songs and shit that end up popping or whatever, like to the day, you know what I mean? But it ain't have they don't really have no background to it or no true meaning about no nothing, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's what comes along with my music, you know what I'm saying? It put a lot of different perspectives on things. We ain't just one way about no nothing, you know what I mean? I have a nigga real thinking like, so that's why I got all the backing and shit, like from all the youngers and shit. That they look at, I just turned the 30 ball, so they look at me like OG already. They call me OG. So at the same time, like I be prideful on that. So I be careful about what I be putting out as far as my music. I know everybody be listening. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm just trying to guide these youngers all the way on right for real. Yeah. And then shit, before you know it, shit with me and Mike loading up like that when the Edgewood end up coming.
Nice. Mike, tell me about the beginning of you and music. How did WiLL make it?
Man, it was a journey, man. I came up northwest side of Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, Marietta. Pops, he used to have all the records around. He used to DJ or whatnot, you know what I'm saying. Mom Dukes, she was in Dottie People's choir, you know what I'm saying. And she was always on the road with that. You know what I'm saying? Like me, like I was always just a fan of just music. You know what I'm saying? Like I just listen to all kind of music. So I would listen to different kind of stuff. My sister, one of my sisters, she used to listen to like all like, you know what I'm saying, like Outkast, you know what I'm saying, different stuff like that. I was more like on like the No Limit or like the, you know what I'm saying, UGK rappers from like the South or whatnot. And then she'll be like on the South rappers that's like more mainstream. And then like my other sister, she'll just straight be on the pop, like, you know what I'm saying? She'll just straight be on like Gwen Stefani and, you know what I'm saying, Toni Braxton, like Whitney Houston. Like I would just get a mixture of all that. And then Mon Deuce, you know what I'm saying, on the gospel, like in the choir, you know what I'm saying? And then Pops, like he just DJing like all the oldies, like I grew up on, you know what I'm saying, Earth, Wind, and Fire, you know what I'm saying, every classic, you know what I'm saying, all the classic records that you probably grew up on, or, you know what I'm saying, or Pops might have had his own selection too. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just hearing all that different kind of music, like, you know what I'm saying, my mind, like I always was a fan of music, but I was playing sports, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't thinking I was going to do music. But, like, one time I had told this girl in elementary school, I was like, man, I'm going to have my own record label one day, you know what I'm saying? And it was like Easy E Records or E Records or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I was on to something because it's like Eardrummer, you know what I'm saying? That shit, I had the E, you know what I'm saying? But I was like young as hell, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't really know I was gonna do music and shit like that. And then like when I was like 14, 15, I went to like the music store and shit with one of my homeboys and I had made a beat on the MP. And then like I had the dude from the music store show me how to use the MP, you know what I'm saying? And he showed me how to do like the basics. So I made like a little beat in the store. And they were like, dang, how long you been making beats? And I was like, man, shit, this is my first beat, for real. They were like, damn, for real? But I would always just like, my sister had like a little keyboard, so I would always just be like hearing stuff on the radio, just messing around, just messing with it. My homeboy Fortune, like he used to just be rapping, you know what I'm saying? So I used to be beating on the tables like, and lunch or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Bro would just be freestyling or whatever. So then we started a group, you know what I'm saying? We had a group or whatnot. And then I was a producer, and I was like the youngest one of the group, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like booking our shows, doing different stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm 14. So then they get locked up. Then I run into Gucci at Patchwork, you know what I'm saying? One of my homeboys was rocking with my boy Blaze at Patchwork. And so I was down there giving Blaze some beats, you know what I'm saying, so for the Southwest clique. And then Gucci had just got out, you know what I'm saying? That's like when he was going through the whole, you know what I'm saying, whole thing back in like 06, you know what I'm saying, 05, boom. So then he was upstairs, and I go upstairs, and he just like walking from the studio to the lounge, you know what I'm saying? So he like, I'm like, hey bro, look, I got some beats. So he grabbed the CD, went in the lounge, and then just started playing the beats. And then he came out, he was like, hey bro, you hard as fuck, bro. He was like, hey, this beat right here? He was like, man, I need this beat, bro. Like, I got 1,500 for you. You know what I'm saying? I got 1,500 for you. So I started off in a group with Marvelous J, you know what I'm saying? So Marvelous J already had a buzz. He was already getting like, you know what I'm saying, a little money or whatnot for, you know what I'm saying, for his beat. So I was like, damn, I want this 1,500 like good, or like, I don't know what that is. Like, so I'm just thinking like, Pops was a businessman, so I'm just like, oh, all right, big dog, but you just got to holler at my people. I'm with it. You just got to holler at my people. But I ain't had no people. Like, I ain't had no manager or nothing, you know what I'm saying? So I was just talking. So he started laughing. He was like, hey, I fuck with you, bro. You a little player. He was like, you a little player. He was like, hey, get my number. You know what I'm saying? So I got his number and shit. And then I would just always be hitting Gucci up. And then it would be like independent cats that would like come buy beats from me or whatnot. And then, like, this one Gucci was, like, first, like, starting to buzz. Like, I called him. I was like, hey, bro, I got somebody who want to, like, buy a verse, you know what I'm saying? I'm 16 at the time. He like, man, look, I'm finna hit the road. Man. Tell him, give me only for you, you know what I'm saying? If he skin down 2,000 right now, I'm finna hit the road, you know what I'm saying? Tell him, come on with it, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, bet. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Gucci said 2,000. So I'm trying to put, you know what I'm saying, verses and stuff together back then. You know what I'm saying, 16, and me and Gooch was just, you know what I'm saying, just always cool, but we ain't never really do nothing yet, you know what I'm saying? Like, so then Gucci get locked up, and then I'm in the club on my side of town, Club Q, you know what I'm saying? So we you know what I'm saying, we all in there, all my boys in there, and I had just linked up with my boy Oz, you know what I'm saying? And Oz from New York, so, you know what I'm saying, like he was on one side of the club, he had a New York fitted. At this time, we coming from the South, coming from the South, like, it was a time where I ain't even associate with nobody from New York. I ain't even know nobody from New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like New York dudes were coming down like just too cocky, like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like my boy Obbs, we was all the way linked in, you know what I'm saying? So he had on the New York hat. So we in the club, we all just kicking it, and we deep. So then some song come on, so like when we was around that age, man, like, you know what I'm saying, you about to hit in the club, like, you feel me? Like, there's crunk music, it's all that, you know what I'm saying, it's turned up. So some dudes just come up, throwing something in my face. Boom, my boy pushing back. So, you know what I'm saying, everybody we about to hit. Walker fly out of nowhere. I don't even know Walker at this time. He flies out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying, jumps in front of his boys like, whoa, hey, hold on. And then move them back. And then my boy Oz come over to us like, hey, hold on, bro. And so I was just not getting around like, you know what I'm saying, our clique, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, what you mean, hold up? You know what I'm saying? He was like, and then him and Walker dapped up, and then Walker came to me like, hey, bro, ain't you from New York? I'm like, hell nah, bro. I'm not. He from New York. And then he was like, man, this my nigga. He cool. He was like, hey, man, y'all niggas kill it. Y'all niggas calm down. Woo. He calmed his niggas down, and then boom, like we go our separate way. Then me and Walker got them run back into each other at the club. I mean, in the bathroom, and then he like, hey, bro, it's some hoes in here, bro. Like, for real. Like, I'm telling you. I'm like, nah, for real. I'm like, it's going crazy out here. I'm like, yeah, we from out here, bro. Woo. And I was like, man, you be on some player shit, bro. Woo. I was like, that shit was real. I was like, man, at the end of the day, niggas, you know what I'm saying? Niggas just trying to get to the money. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what bro was on, you know what I'm saying? He just came up with the bullshit, but you know what I'm saying? You seem like a player nigga, bro. Woo. He was like, man, what you be doing? You be fucking around in the street? I was like, nah, my boys be on that shit. I'm trying to fuck with the music shit, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, oh shit, bro, my cousin Gucci Man. And I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, Gucci my nigga. Pulled out my sidekick, you know what I'm saying? Pulled that shit out, and I was like, I showed him the 2 numbers I had on Gucci. And then he was like, oh shit, boy, you know Gucci for real. And he was like, hey, bro, let me get your number. He finna come home. He finna come home again. I was like, for real? So I don't know if he trying to like line me up or what, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm like, okay, this club beef can turn into some shit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I give him one of my other, like the little internet number to the house, you know what I'm saying? So boom, next thing you know, I plugged that in one day. It was like late at night, I get a call, I'm like, now who the fuck calling this phone? I'm like, hello? And then he like, bro, you don't never pick up the phone, bro. I'm like, who this? He like, nigga, this Walker. And I was like, Walker who? He was like, Gucci cousin, bro, I just met you in the club. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what up, bro? You know what I'm saying? He was like, boom, first conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like 30 minutes. And me and Walker just stayed in contact. He told me like, man, you know my mom, like she like the plug, like she the manager, like she the one putting everybody on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, bro, I'm telling you, we're gonna blow you up, bro. Woo, he ain't never heard none of my beats. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, he used to call me from on Dale's phone. So when I would call and get in touch with him, you know what I'm saying? She picked up the phone one time, like, yo, are you Mike Will? I was like, yeah. And then she was like, man, you are all Walker talk about, man. Like, he talk about, like, how hard your beats is, woo, all the time. But he ain't never heard no beats. We was just rocking like that. You know what I'm saying? So then Gucci come home, and then Walker like, hey, bro, I got somebody want to talk to you. Boom, he put Gucci on the phone. And then Gucci like, oh, man, hey, man, it's good thing you linked up with my cousin, boy. Man, I need some of them beats, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Boom. From there, you know what I'm saying, I went to the studio with Gucci, started pulling up on Gucci with the beats. It'll be like Shawty Red in there, Fat Boy, KO, like all these different producers in there. I'm the youngest dude in the room. Gucci be like, play the beats. And I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't finna, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro, there's all these big dogs in here, like, these the dudes I'm looking up to at the time, like. So Gucci like, man, play them beats, bro. You know what I'm saying? I play the beats, you know what I'm saying? Boom, him and all his boys start freestyling. Boom. That's how we did No Pad, No Pencil. From there, that was the, you know what I'm saying? That was like the kick in the dough, you know what I'm saying? Then from there, like, I'm just moving around like the Atlanta music scene, like, boom, I'm running into trouble at the studio, you know what I'm saying? I had already knew Bit Bank and Alley Boy, and then Trouble was coming home, and they were telling me like, yo, man, we got this artist, Trouble, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard as fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, bro, I'm telling you, you gotta get with him. We need some of them beats, bro. We need some of them beats. And I was like, man, shit. I'm like, man, say no more, bro. Whenever he touched down, like, say no more. So then when he got out and I heard his music, I'm like, yo, this nigga hard as fuck, like, for real. So I ran into him, I got his number, and then we just was linked in. I'll just be on him like, bro, man, we need to go to the studio, bro. You ain't got no studio today? Like, bro, man, I need to send you some beats, bro. Like, man, let's get in, woo. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I could tell, like, his energy went all the way there, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, damn. You know what I'm saying? I started, like, the timing just wasn't right, you know what I'm saying? Because I started just put my focus on like, man, boom, okay, who like really locking in? You know what I'm saying? Like who really locking in? And then it's like, man, Trouble, like once he really started locking in, he started dropping mixtapes, and I'm hearing them, and I'm calling him like, bruh, man, you going too crazy, bro. Like you keep going crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? Like, and then he come to the studio, and then we catch a wave. I ain't know if we were gonna be able to catch the same wave that, you know what I'm saying, he was already putting out. So I was like, man, let's see what kind of wave we catch. Then we caught a crazy wave, and it was like, damn, like, man, me and bro gotta like, you know what I'm saying? We what you?
This shit can be something.
Yeah. This could be something. Like what you got going on, bro? Like who? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you ain't got no deal or nothing. Like, bro, I got a label situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, let's do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can put the terms together. Like, I ain't even tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't even going into this relationship even thinking about signing you or nothing. Like, I was just trying to see what kind of wave we could do.
It's a mutual thing.
Yeah,
but friendship.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we in there chopping it up. Like, we're not just doing straight music. We in there chopping it up. And then we're around the same age, and it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just organic, and we listen to the same shit. We got the same kind of views on the music. We got the same kind of, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, bro, like, this is too hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you somebody I would have been bumping when I was coming up. Like, when I was a young nigga coming up, I would have been bumping Trouble. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, like, what the young niggas need to hear today? Bro, they need to hear Trouble. So, shit, man, I love to help put this out. You know what I'm saying? And then he was all the way with it. So, shit, we just locked in. And then boom, Edgewood, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, Edgewood is phenomenal. I just backstory, like I remember hearing Trouble, like your name from people from Atlanta, like, hey, this dude in Atlanta right now is killing it. This was around, what was the name of the tape? Scoopzilla.
Scoopzilla, yeah.
And it was like, bro, this is dude in Atlanta right now named Trouble. He's notorious. And he's putting out music. Like, you need to pay attention. So I bumped it, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. So go from that into Edgewood, because I feel like people know you, but then just I never got this full story. I think that what Edgewood was showcased. When you were making it, what was going through? What was the process like for you?
Was, I don't know. The only different word as far as the level of seriousness for coming from me, for how serious I took it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of this, like when I was dropping them Schoolzilla though, I was all the way locked in, and it was only like it's a few dudes in the game like who like they cool or whatever, but when it come to nigga like Mike, WiLL, and Zaytoven, like it's a whole nother level of like as far as on personally, you know what I mean? Like they was just always on my line, like and always on me. So like take it back to them times where I did the Schoolzilla and the Zay did it in the School Free. Yeah. Like Zay pulled me out the closet at them times, like bro, hell nah, like get in here, like. Even if you parked up at the time you ain't had right now, bro, I'm gonna book the session that down at Petworth, fuck wherever you wanna go, come on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So and it was the same type of situation for how I might end up dragging me out of, you know what I mean? So like that would end up catching them motion where I was just like, fuck it, all right, let's lock on in. Because it was just like the game was just so discouraging, bro. Like for me, I was like, fuck that shit, you know what I mean? But
what was discouraging? Just because like it'd be like for instance, like for everybody in the A, like they know everything I'm talking about is facts, like my real life, you know what I'm saying? Like for everything, and they know I'm the one who going through it, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm the one who going through it, the one who putting in the work, the one who done been out here for real, you know what I'm saying? The one who really talking for them folk. Mm-hmm. Like so that's why everybody like in the city, like they back and forth. Like when I say in the city, I'm talking about the streets. I ain't talking about like the rap artists who come out of it and making or whatnot. You know what I mean? Cause a lot of them guys that shit just end. That shit be the foo-foo. You know what I mean? They just be done had a sweeter way in real quick, or they done took something real quick just to get on the platform. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they'll never turn back around. You know what I mean? So I just ain't never had that hand or whatnot to kind of bring me across that bridge. You know what I mean? I feel like that what Mike kind of helped me on, like reaching it, extending his hand out to me and being like, fuck that, wrong, and that boss on up and let these folk hear and see. You feel me? Yeah. Like I just feel like it really was just out of a lot of folk reaching, ain't that they might have not been might have been hating on me or none of that shit. They probably just ain't even know for real, or haven't heard about that shit yet. You know what I'm saying? Being able to see a nigga. Cause I feel like I just needed to be out that motherfucker and being able to have it on different platforms where folk can goddamn get a chance to be able to make their own decisions from it, like, oh, okay, bet, yeah, this what's going on. You know what I'm saying? No, the project was named after the projects that you're from.
Yeah.
Why name it that, and then when did you name it that, and then also why?
Edgewood we named it Edgewood, okay, like really, cause it really just like with the music I'm dropping ain't nothing but a continuation of Well, my life for real, like all my experience and everything that I was going through on any type of level, like for instance, like shit like the rider, when I'm talking about snacks and shit, I'm talking about who real or who ain't been real. I'm trying to give them different perception of where they can see, like for a bitch who may not know what being solid is or what consists of being a router, you know what I'm saying? So then you got songs like Hurt Real Bad, you know what I mean, for talk about the betrayal, you know what I mean, and all the bullshit that you'll go through dealing with people in your life, feel me, for close friends or whoever you end up fucking with, you know what I mean? So if like when we put Edgewood together, it was just a whole, like I wanted it to surround around my bricks so far from where I'm coming from at the end of the day. Like for instance, if I'm gravitating towards a new crowd and folks who ain't never heard of me about no nothing, I wanted them to know where I'm coming from with it, period. Like all gate, as soon as you see Edgewood, like what is this? Then you'll be able to be like, you know, doing your research or whatever, like, oh, okay, so this a hood that he from. And then once you get into the song and shit and you hearing what I'm talking about, oh, okay, and you know what I mean? It just I wanted it to make full sense versus just throwing some shit out there that was just gonna be a catch ass name or something, you know what I mean? Just try to catch some eyes and some talk, you know. I wanted it to be real genuine, you know what I mean? And Mike understood me all the way on that period. Like he ain't never been no nigga to try to manipulate me into doing no bullshit that wasn't me, or just to try to do no shit to try to make a quick #1 billboard or none of this shit, you know what I'm saying? He allowed me to be me, which I'm gonna do regardless, but at the same time it will kind of motivating, being the fact that me knowing how big my boy already is in the game, and then he just still neutral like that, you know what I mean? So I was like, hell yeah, so that shit allowed me to just straight be like, rock myself in that motherfucker.
Nice. When did, because I remember seeing like, I guess, clips or teasers last year about y'all two in the studio, and it was exciting, but I guess when did y'all know, like, and what did it feel like when we're like, hey, we got something really dope, we need to like lock in and get this done?
I think that was first day.
First day.
You know
I swear I would say the same shit. I ain't lying.
I think that was like first day, but it was like, man, we just kept, like, it just kept like, you know, like if you just imagine like digging in the ground, you know what I'm saying? Like we digging in the ground, we don't know if it's just straight dirt or mud down there. We don't know what's down there. We just digging, and then we just seeing like diamonds, gold, like we just seeing different stuff. So we just kept digging. So it's like we keep coming up with like these jewels. We keep coming up with like different bangers, you know what I'm saying, different songs, and then it's like, damn, okay, this one from just being a 6-song project, you know what I'm saying, representing your projects, you know what I'm saying, from Zone 6, like to you know what I'm saying, being like a full project, like 16 songs, having like real like commercial features on there without even making a phone call or trying to get features. Like, yo, we need to get The Weeknd on this track, or we need to get Drake on this track, or we need to get Quavo on this track. Like everything happened all the way organic. And then it was like, you know what I'm saying, like we shot a whole movie. You know what I'm saying? We had the videos in the can. Bro had to go sit down right quick, and then it was like, boom. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to put it out. So it was like timing, really. You know what I'm saying?
How did you meet Drake in The Weeknd? And then tell me.
Like, be honest, folks, no, like I ended up, like if you talking about Drake, I met Drake through Mike. You know what I'm saying? That was a situation. I was actually out of town while they was somewhere out of town too and working together or whatnot. And then Mike, they were having a conversation or whatnot outside of what they was already doing, and Mike ended up playing on some of the music. And I goddamn, man, I ain't even knowing Shouter was familiar with me or whatever, but Shouter was already familiar or had not heard or whatnot. So after Mike playing on some songs, Shouter ended up wanting to jump on one of them motherfuckers, like call out to him real quick, see if that shit cool. I want to fuck one of them motherfuckers, you feel me? So like that how the Drake shit ended up coming about, like. And then so when I got back in town and I heard the motherfucker, like while we was in the studio, I like, this shit crazy, like, let me call home, like, let me get a number. I just want to holler at him real quick, you know what I mean? Like, you don't owe no nigga shit or nothing at the end of the day, and you at the top of the totem pole. So for home to just, you know what I mean, be that humble about things, you know what I'm saying? And to fuck with a nigga, I felt like that was gangster, you know what I'm saying? So that when we just started rocking from that point, and the relationship done stayed platonic, like it been genuine and rocking ever since that moment, you know what I mean? But like when it come down to the Weeknd, I've been asking on The Weeknd probably like 5.5 years now.
Wow. Like
we been rocking like since he had them first started popping out with like the House Balloon and way. The nigga first show he was coming out today, and I didn't even know who he was. My manager and his manager were buddies at the time or whatnot. So Shouter ended up calling my manager and ended up being like, man, goddamn, Weeknd wanna fuck with Truck, man. He said, goddamn, tell Truck, see a Truck, wanna pull up on him, whatever. Ooh, he wanna link with him. So when my manager actually telling me that time, like, what the hell is you talking about? Like, what you mean what I'm doing this weekend? Like, I ain't gonna be doing shit. I'm be in the hood. he like, hell nah. Like, it's a singer, bro. Like, he probably have the shit going on. He like, you gonna fuck with him though? Like, I'll tell you, like, y'all be able to say type of shit. He just a singer. You smell? So I was like, shit. Well, we'll pull up on you at the show at Center State. I was like, shit, let's slide. So me and a couple of the homies in the mountains, we slide through that motherfucker. We go backstage, shout to come back that motherfucker, and he was just regular hell. Like, we drinking yak together, you feel me? We popping, we doing what we doing out there, bit, you feel me? Just the whole conversation we were having out that motherfucker, he wasn't kicking it like no nigga who was just what he was at that time about no nothing, you feel me? And that's what I fucked with the most. So he was like, shit, lock my line in or whatever. Woo. So we locked each other line in. We always stayed in contact. Like, I go out to LA, I pulling up on them niggas every time they come to the A. He want me slide them through clubs. I'm taking these niggas through room service, all this shit. Every time they'll come through the city, you feel me? Like, they'll be, I ain't fucking with none of these guys show up. Like, such and such called me, man. I told him, no, man, I'm moving with Trouble, man. I'm just rocking with Trouble, man. Yeah. So, of course, like, I was getting a lot of pressure from a lot of my people and shit, too, just from when they seen what our relationship was and they knowing how big Shout was. They were like, man, you got to tell him do a song, man. You got to get him on one. Like, you got to get the feature. Fuck all that, bro. Like, I ain't one of them wave riding ass nigga about no nothing, bro. Like, you got to think about 1,000 niggas be coming at you like that when you in the game and you going strong. You know what I mean? Everybody wants something. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna ever be one of them guys. You feel me? I'm not gonna abuse none of my relationship about no nothing. I really rather for shit to just happen genuinely. Like, if it gonna ever be that, if it don't ever happen, then that's cool too. You feel me? So, like, that's where our relationship was with it, and I ain't never asked on for shit. Like, not a dollar, not a song about no nothing. And we don't had certain conversations where he was like, shit, at the end of the day, that what he respected the most. Like, cause nigga ain't ever come at him with no bullshit, period. Like, nigga just rocked all the way on that, you feel me? And then when it came down to doing the song, which is on Edgewood to come through, I actually had done laced to come through it all the way out by myself. I killed that motherfucker out gate while we in the studio. Mike come in that motherfucker, he just so creative. So as soon as he come in out gate, he hear that motherfucker, he like, you spazzing. He was like, but what you think about a singer on, like, but kind of behind that motherfucker or something? I was like, hell nah, you tripping. Like, dude don't tell him out gate while he giving me ideas. I was like, hell nah, I just couldn't hear it at the time, you feel? He like, I'm telling you, bro, you just gotta think about it. Like, hear that shit, play that shit one more time. He got them folk playing that shit. I'm kind of vibing that for a minute. I'm like, all right, it might make sense, but I really still wasn't smelling it. I mean, next day, we all end up pulling up in the studio again. Abel end up with the weekend. He ended up coming down to that same night, too. I think they were finna work on some shit in another room. And I don't even think Mike even knew at the time that our relationship was what it was, you feel me? So when Home come in that motherfucker, Mike go get him the idea, and he come around that motherfucker, he like, shit, hey, Troy, my man. You feel me? So he come in that motherfucker, we play the song out gate, all us standing in the studio, he just vibing to that motherfucker. He like, shit, pull it up. He don't take no time, pull it up. What y'all need me to do? Like, what you want me to do? Like, shit, just do you. You feel me? He go straight in the studio and just lace that motherfucker instantly, like no extra shit. He go straight in there and lace it, and they end up coming out, end up being one of the strongest songs on that bit.
Nice.
It was crazy because, like, really me knowing, like I knew I could tell, like, Trouble and Abel had a relationship, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Because Trouble had the low life chain for sure, like when we first met, and then like Shroom was on the road with Cash. And then when I was working with Trouble and like they were seeing different stuff on the internet, that Cash was telling me like, yo, man, I saw you working with Trouble. You know, that's my bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that's our bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Cash, Weekend's manager.
Yeah. So they were always like bigging him up. So I knew the kind of respect that they had for him because I'm in the room. I'm seeing how they talk about him when he's not even there. You know what I'm saying? So and it's always bigging him up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing him like yeah. You know what I'm saying? I fought with Abel. Then I saw him at the show. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, yeah. You know what I'm saying? They rock real tough. So like really after the show, Shrimmer came to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So after the show, I had went to the back. You know what I'm saying? And then I was just chopping it with Abel or whatnot about this other song. You know what I'm saying, that we were working on. And then he was like, man, what you been up to though, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Same thing happened with Drake too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, yo, I've been working on this shit. Cause like artists want to know, like, man, what you most excited about? Like, who about to come with some flavor? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who about to come with some heat? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, man, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I did this project with Trouble. You know what I'm saying? And I always try to go do, like that's always been my career. Even though like I might have big songs, I really like try to go against all odds. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I worked with Miley Cyrus when she didn't put out a song for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody wasn't even really looking for her music thing. And it's just like, boom, it's a comeback. Like Juicy J is like somebody that I always grew up like watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you know what I'm saying? Looking up to. That was like one of my favorite producers or whatnot. So it's like, man, I go in with Juicy J, man, we got to make a banger, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Bands make a dance. Like, okay, if I go in with Rihanna, man, we got to make a club banger right quick. You know what I'm saying? Give her like the female version of Bands Make a Dance. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, I tried to always go against all odds. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, Future, y'all don't really know Future like that. You know what I'm saying? But this my boy, we both coming up together. Boom, I'm finna goddamn, you know what I'm saying, stand right here. So it was like, with Trouble, it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, boom, everybody know, bro, hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, man, if me and Bruckin got down catch a wave, like, and then we went in the studio and then we caught a wave, it was like, man, damn, and it sound different and everything. So it's like, when I get in the room with somebody like The Weeknd, we working on something, he like, man, what you excited about? You know what I'm saying? Because he know I ain't just going to play anything. So it's like, man, bro, I ain't going to lie, this project I'm doing with Trouble. He's like, damn, Trouble, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? He's like, let me hear it. So I'm playing it. And I play him a couple songs, and then a couple songs he was just like, bro, repeat that, bro. That shit is hard. This shit is hard. He was like, that's hard, bro. Y'all boys doing y'all thing, bro. Woo. I was like, man, shit, I wasn't really serious, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't going to force it on their relationship or anything. I just threw it in there just being a producer, like, man, bro, if you can get on this motherfucker, that shit would be crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, it went from a 6-song project, and we just kept just going in, you know what I'm saying? He was like, man, I mean, I'm down, bro, you know, we get in the studio today, and we get in the studio the day after, so, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's whatever, bro, let's just get in, let's just see what we come with, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he was coming there to work on his album, so, boom, I book out Tree Sound, so it's like Trouble in one room, Shrimp in the other room, Weeknd in the other room, you know what I'm saying? Boom, I'm like bouncing back and forth, you know what I'm saying? So it's like Trouble got come through going, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just straight him. I'm like, bro, this shit is hard as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's pretty and it's hard. So it's pretty hard. You know what I'm saying? Because it got like the pianos and stuff going. So I'm hearing it. So like, it just give me like this like 90s feel. Like it just give me like a 90s hip hop feel. So I'm like, yo, bro, like what? Like what if like Slim from 112, like today, like a Slim from 112 kind of vocal is like, behind this, like, you know, he was like, man, you talking about a nigga singing on it? I'm like, yeah. He was like, man, hell nah, bro. He was like, bro, I'm going too hard on here. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, just in the background, like, you ain't gonna change. He ain't gonna change what you saying. He just gonna be in the background to bring some ambience. And he was like, man, hell nah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want nobody singing on here, bro. And he was like, who you was thinking about? I'm like, shit, I really don't even know. I'm just thinking like, that's just what I hear. He was like, man, I was like, bro, look, just let me try it out, bro. If you ain't rocking with it, bro, just take it out. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, shit, you can try it, bro, but you know what I'm saying? If it's the brick, I'm gonna let you know. I'm like, bro, I don't shoot bricks, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't shoot bricks, bro. So then, like, me and The Weeknd had just did a song. You know what I'm saying? I had made a beat, and you know what I'm saying? He had laid down some shit, and the shit was hard. We were excited about the shit. So then it was like, man, hey, bro. Hey, Trouble in the other room working, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got some hard shit in here going crazy. I was like, man, bro, like, you need to come hear this shit. He was like, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? He walked in the room, then he heard that shit. And I was like, man, bro, on some real shit, bro, just, even if you do background vocals on that shit, like, he was like, it's already a hook there, dog. And I'm like, yeah, even if you do background vocals, like, whatever you do, like, I just want you to, like, add, like, another layer, like, you know what I'm saying? Like another layer on there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the only thing that's missing on this track. And he was like, shit, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Go in the booth, rock that shit. And then, you know what I'm saying? Troy here just went outside to smoke a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? When Weeknd went in, came back in, and the shit was laid down. He was like, oh, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That shit was rocking for real. And it just added that other layer, and I felt like that's what take it from, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what take tracks. Yeah, that's what take tracks to certain levels, you know what I'm saying? It's layers, because it's all art at the end of the day, and all art is about layers, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's paints, or whether it's cars, whether it's clothes, whether it's whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever kind of art you're into, it's all about the layers, whether it's a simple, you know what I'm saying, thing, like it's something real thin and simple, or it's something like super layered up, you know what I'm saying? And the genius behind doing the super layered up and making this beautiful art piece is like, you know what I'm saying? The genius behind it all, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, that's how I view it in my mind or whatnot.
Nice. Trouble, how did DTE come together?
Shit, through the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all that from the brick, for real. Like, that was, a lot of folks thought that shit was just on some Niggas was signed that shit on some music shit like hell nah, like this shit straight from the street. That was like Big Bank. That why I made folks start really calling him the Godfather, because that's kind of the way he was moving throughout the turf. You know what I mean? Like he really saved my life for real, for real. Like I was crashing out there motherfucker. Like before I ever did some rap shit and shit. Like I really was out here wilding, like thorough, like what, you know what I mean? And then he was hearing about me and knowing what was going on, and then we from the same hood and shit, so he ended up just reaching his hand to me and pulled me out of a lot of situations, you feel me, that really just put me onto a different path. Like, and like, cause on some real shit, it was Bank and Sosa who actually got down rapping when I was a young nigga. Mm-hmm. They were doing the shit with the mall shit, but everybody knew about the Mafia, like up in Edgewood. They was up on Mason, you know what I mean? Me and all the younger, we was up on Hudson, coming from the back of Edgewood Court, you feel me? Like, so it really was just some project shit, like, and when it came down to Duct Tape, it was like, basically like some sticking together type shit, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's a family over everything. Nigga just started trying to jump into the rap game just to do some different shit from trying to be in the streets for forever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nice. Mike, now that, so we got Trouble albums out, we got Ray Shrimmer albums coming out, and we also have Ears. We also working on Ears. What's next for Eardrummer Records? Like, what do you have planned?
You mentioned Shrimp 3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You mentioned Shrimp 3. Man, Eardrummer Records, man. Like I'm just trying to build like a L roster. You know what I'm saying? Where no artist even like you know what I'm saying? You don't get the same thing with Trouble that you get with Shrimp. You know what I'm saying? But in some ways you kind of do. You know what I'm saying? Like because it's like how Trouble like puts his he all the way. One thing you're gonna always know about like an artist I'm trying to put out on Eardrummers is like originality is there, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not trying to. I can't really just gravitate to artists that like, you know what I'm saying? That's sounding like the next person, like just trying to fit in on you know what I'm saying? Or like you just trying to get in the clubs, or you just trying to get on the radio, or you just trying to, you know what I'm saying? Get like. I don't like that. Look at me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I make a lot of moves that people don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? Then I make a lot of moves that people might see. Then there's a lot of records that people hear Mike Will made it on, but you don't hear Mike Will made it on Humble or Formation or, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, man, like when I was doing the Mike Will made it thing, when I first started doing the tag, it was more of a look at me, because I'm the youngest cat on all these mixtapes, you know what I'm saying? And it's like all these other dudes is popping, so it's like I gotta put my tag right here, or else they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's Shawty Red beat, or that's Zaytoven beat. Somebody who don't really know the difference between them all, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I had to put my tag on there, so then it's kind of like, cause I ain't getting shouted out, I might not get shouted out, or I might be the young dude coming in trying to earn my way. So it's like, boom, I got to put the tag on there, so then the real listeners are gonna be like, dang, every time I hear this tag, it's quality. You know what I'm saying? So then it's like, okay, boom. Then once people start following your production, then it's kind of cool to like take the tag off and let it just be about the song and just see the natural reaction. So then people don't think it's like all about just the tag. Oh yeah, it's just the tag on there. You know what I'm saying? So then it's like, okay, take the tag off. No, it's really the songs, the layers of this song. Like it's a banger from top to bottom. It's well produced. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, oh dang, Mike Will produce that. You know what I'm saying? So then, like that's how we built the Mike Will made it Eardrummers. Like every time you hear a track, you hear Mike Will made it Eardrummers. So it was always associated with quality, you know what I'm saying, on the production side first, you know what I'm saying? So then when I started the label, you know what I'm saying, I knew I wanted to come different, you know what I'm saying? Then when I met Jimmy and Lee, like they always been squad, them the little bros, you know what I'm saying? But like the thing was, like I never really been around them like in a music setting, like when they did their music. Like they were always locked in with like P Nasty and Mars, you know what I'm saying? So then when I was about to do the label deal, it took me like 2 years to sign it. I was just chopping it with Jimmy Iovine and whatnot. So, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I signed the label deal with Jimmy Iovine, he got a deal for $3 billion with Apple. You know what I'm saying? So it was like he was out the door when I'm walking in the door. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, boom, this is a whole new stuff. I'm already nervous about this. Like, and I pulled up to his house. I'm like, man, look, bro. Like, I'm nervous as hell about this. You know what I'm saying? He was like, what you nervous about? I was like, man, because two things I can't do in life. I mean, two things I just can't stand in life, or like I don't know how to deal with, is rejection and failure. He was like, man, them two things that you gotta embrace. You know what I'm saying? Definitely having a record label. You know what I'm saying? Because everything's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like all you got to do is just put stuff out for your peers. You know what I'm saying? Put stuff out that you and your peers like, and then, you know what I'm saying, some things going to work, you know what I'm saying, some things not, but at the end of the day, that's the catalog that comes off your label, and you know what I'm saying, like he was breaking it down like that. I ain't never really view it like that, because I'm looking at it like, man, I'm helping somebody with their whole career. You know what I'm saying? Like, this somebody's whole career in their hands, so they going to look at me and be mad if this don't work out. He was like, how could they look at you? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you always are showing up where you supposed to show up, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're going to have artists that listen and that, you know what I'm saying, that are dedicated, that can take it all the way there. And sometimes you're going to have artists that's just hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? Me and my artists, some of me and my artists got into it. You know what I'm saying? That I try to blow up, but they're just hard-headed and they view things a certain kind of way. So, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be a certain kind of, you know what I'm saying, certain kind of way. So it's like, okay, I never viewed it like that. Luckily, you know what I'm saying? Luckily, like the first artist I come across is like right when I signed the deal, it's like boom, Shrimp is staying with P Nasty. You know what I'm saying? So P Nasty like, man, pull up right quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I think we getting the sound together. Cause I told them like they need to get their own sound. Like they ain't have their own sound, so their own sound started coming together. I pull up, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm seeing them rap. And then I'm seeing the originality right there. Like when Sway Lee freestyling, Jimmy jumping behind him going nuts. You know what I'm saying? When Jimmy started freestyling, Sway Lee behind him going nuts. You know what I'm saying? So they both going crazy. So then it's like, okay, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking to them. As soon as the music go off, it's dead silence. You know what I'm saying? They just straight listening to me. You know what I'm saying? And then like I'm straight listening to them. They asking me questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm answering questions. Like they just super humble. You know what I'm saying? Then they had it. And all that. So then it was just like, man, okay, boom. You know what I'm saying? We pop out, we go out with Shrimp, and this is all trial and error. You know what I'm saying? No Flex Zone. It's the first single we put out on the label. You know what I'm saying? No, 23 was the first single we put out on the label, and then No Flex Zone, and there was No Tight. You know what I'm saying? Then there was Throw Some Mo, and then there was Shrimp Life 1. You know what I'm saying? Then they had like 5 or 6 singles off of that joint. You know what I'm saying? And it just luckily just took off how we wanted it to and crossed over and everything. So then it's like, damn, all right, we got one artist like going, you know what I'm saying? Ears, you know what I'm saying? That was like, I liked his energy, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, this is gonna be a developing process. He a young cat, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I see the potential. So you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of like put his stuff out like we haven't really drop that project for the groundswell yet, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we're doing there, you know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing like on this next project, you know what I'm saying? With Ears, like shooting the videos, groundswell, he put in that groundwork and go. Like I just see the potential in him, and he done came a long way. His shows getting crazy, his shows on the tours be crazy and all that. And then with Trouble, like I said, like I ain't even know, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times I just be, you know what I'm saying, going to like the young cats, I might see the potential and be like, man, you know what I'm saying, boom. Or either like, you know what I'm saying, like Fat Man Key, that was the first artist I was trying to sign, like in 2013, that's my little bro, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, like he got a wave and all that, you know what I'm saying? So with Trouble, he already had his wave going, and it's like, I'm like, boom, we just partnered up, you know what I'm saying? And he already had this thing going on. We had a wave, you know what I'm saying, with the music. And so it was like, okay, and he's super humble. You know what I'm saying? And he not looking at it like, man, bro, I'm like 1 or 2 years older than you, bro. I ain't finna hear nothing that you got to say. You know what I'm saying? If I'm saying some real shit, he hear me out. Just like he tell me some real shit. You know what I'm saying? And I hear him out. And it just be just like that. And the conversation was mutual. And then I started to look at it. I'm like, well, bro saw me. He literally saw me broke. You know what I'm saying? And he saw the like, you know what I'm saying, where I've took it to, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I always remain the same. Like, can't no nigga say like, oh yeah, Mike Will done changed up. Like, you know what I'm saying? At no point, or when I saw Mike Will, he was acting like this. It ain't nothing ever like that. So it was like, I could tell like Trouble picked up on that, and the respect was mutual. So like, bro, let's just link up, bro, and let's just goddamn just really take over, bro, because people don't see this shit coming. But this shit could be like, you know what I'm saying, the biggest thing hip-hop done had in a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hip-hop needs this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, you know what I'm saying? So that's when we locked in, and it's like, man, boom, this is a whole nother. And he was like, man, I'm gonna put the label on my back, bro. Like, you ain't gotta worry about nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, shit, say no more, nigga. I'm finna go balls to the wall, like, you know what I'm saying, for your career. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm putting my neck on the line, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna shoot a whole movie. Nigga, we're gonna shoot the video. We finna go. Like, you know what I'm saying? We finna give it to them at the level that we know we're supposed to give it to them, and we know that's missing out here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we did, and we linked up, and like, shit, we just starting to rock, and the reaction ain't been nothing but positive. You know what I'm saying? So it's blessings, you know what I'm saying?
Last question from both. Last thing we usually do is ask the artist or who we're interviewing to give advice. So Trouble, what advice would you give to other artists? And Mike, what advice would you give to other producers who want to make a come out or?
My advice is just stay true to yourself for real. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, dude, and to be patient. You know what I'm saying? Like, things take time. Like, everything ain't gonna happen within 1 day, 1 week, 1 year. You feel me? Like, I've been home 6.5 years now, and I'm just now reaching this platform or this level of or what you might call success or whatever the fuck. You feel me? Like, so shit take time. You know what I mean? They're gonna come with all type of downfalls, all type of betrayals, all type of bullshit. But that's a part of life and it's part of the game. You feel me? Like, my advice is just to keep your head in the game, stay true to yourself, and just keep pushing, bro.
Nice, Mike.
Man, I don't want to sound like I'm picking backing off my boy, but it's like we come from the same things. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you go through so many obstacles. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting to wherever you're going in life. You know what I'm saying? Like wherever I'm at in life. You know what I'm saying? Wherever, you know what I'm saying, the next person who listening to this, you know what I'm saying, may be in life. Like, you go through so many obstacles, you know what I'm saying? But through those obstacles, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, it's all a test. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all a test that, like, you gotta know it's a higher power, you know what I'm saying? You gotta know, boom, God is, you know what I'm saying, right here just putting tests, you know what I'm saying, in front of you. So, you know what I'm saying, if you one of them, you know what I'm saying, if you one of them young cats that's out there grinding, you know what I'm saying, and you in the crib and you thinking like, man, this shit, man, bro, ain't nobody ever really gonna hear my music. Like, if you had that doubt at the end of the day, but when everybody come around, you like, nigga, I know I'm gonna blow up one day. Ooh, man, keep that same drive and motivation that you got when everybody come around and you saying like, I'm finna blow up one day and da-da-da, and you get that doubt in your head at home, like, just know that shit could really pay off, dog, because I'm, you know what I'm saying, bro, I made it out the basement. I was in Mom Duke's basement, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to have niggas come over, you know what I'm saying? I used to make beats for niggas. Man, hey, bro, pull up, man. My mom laid off, you know what I'm saying? I ain't getting paid for none of these mixtape tracks I got, you know what I'm saying, coming out. And I'm on mixtapes, and I know I'm just, you know what I'm saying, playing my role, but I ain't looking at it like, damn, I'm just playing my role. I ain't getting no money. Man, where my money at? Ooh, I ain't got my hand out about nothing or nothing. I'm just trying to learn, soak up game, put out shit. I learn from each step of the way, you know what I'm saying? So, like, when I'm in the basement, I'm calling, you know what I'm saying, different rappers I fuck with over, like, hey, bro, pull up. Yeah, hey, pull up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make 3 beats for you, and I'm gonna record the songs for you. You just give me $500, $600. Okay, boom, I got a couple. Now I'm making a couple dollars, and I'm doing what I love to do. Okay, now we can keep a roof over our head. Here you go, Mom Dukes, boom. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking care of these bills right quick, boom. You know what I'm saying? As a young nigga, you know what I'm saying, just grinding, taking care of my responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the main thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you coming up, like, don't be that one out here just with your hand always out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta take care of your responsibilities and know that don't nobody owe you nothing. You know what I'm saying? So anything that comes to you is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you gotta count every blessing that comes. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you maneuvering like that and you stay humble like that and you stay prayed up like that and you just, you know what I'm saying, realizing like what it really is out here like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, more blessings start to come to you. Mm-hmm. And then, you know what I'm saying, you start to go and you start to, you know what I'm saying, travel to wherever you are in life, you know what I'm saying? Like Trouble said, you know what I'm saying, whatever
Trust
success.
the process.
Yeah.
Trust the process.
Yeah, whatever success is or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, yeah, just trust the process and always stay grinding and never lose that faith, you know what I'm saying? I remember, I ain't gonna lie, I was at Tree Sound. I saw I was in Groove Chamber Room, and that was my first time seeing, like, somebody with a platinum plaque. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, bro, how the fuck did you get a platinum plaque, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at that shit like a UFO. Like, bro, you so, like, and then I remember when he left out of the room, I'm in there making beats. I'm like, damn, bro, I don't know if I'll ever be able to, like, produce a song that sell 1 million copies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was so far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? Then once that happened, it was like a Grammy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit's impossible. You feel me? Like, and then when we got nominated for Formation, I was like, oh yeah, this is my first Grammy. You know what I'm saying? It's my first Grammy. Like, we just knew we were gonna win that. You know what I'm saying? When we lost that day, I was like, shit, I'm never gonna win a Grammy, bro. If I just did a song with Beyonce, bro, you know what I'm saying? If I just did a song with Beyonce and goddamn this didn't win a Grammy, I'm never gonna win a Grammy, bro, ever. You know what I'm saying? Me and Kendrick been rocking since 2010. You know what I'm saying? We never got down forced a song upon each other. You know what I'm saying? We just always was cool. We pull up. I play a bunch of beats. He got, man, that nigga probably got thousands of my beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, he probably got hella songs that I ain't never heard. You know what I'm saying? Humble, the first song that we put out together after 7 years, 6 years knowing each other. You know what I'm saying? And fucking this shit wins a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, before Black Beatles, like, I never had a number one. I had songs with Beyonce, Rihanna, Miley. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were all big records, you know what I'm saying? But they never went number one Hot 100, you know what I'm saying? Like, We Can't Stop never went number one Hot 100, you know what I'm saying? Like, Formation never went number one Hot 100. They were right up there, and it was like, damn, I know it's about to go number one. And it's just like, damn, it never happened. And then it was like, the first time I hit number one Hot 100 is like with the young dudes that I give the first opportunity to, and then with the dude who gave me my first opportunity on the record together.
Full
you know
circle.
what I'm saying? It's just full circle. Like, you got to trust the process, and you got to know that God, you know what I'm saying? Like, the universe is lined up, you know what I'm saying? Like, to work itself, you know what I'm saying? That's why in my thank you credits on Ransom, it's a thank you to the universe for being the universe, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, certain stuff you just can't make up. I won my first Grammy with A+, you know what I'm saying? That's my boy from high school, from 11th grade, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I get nominated for my first Grammy. We get nominated together, you know what I'm saying, with Formation. Like, we work together. Like, you can't make this shit up, bro. Like, God is just keep giving you signs, you know what I'm saying? Just follow them footsteps, stay motivated, stay grinding. You know what I'm saying? Like Trell say, stack, pray, stay out the way.
Nice.
Word. You know
Nice.
what I'm saying?
Well, this has been probably the most inspirational episode we have, and I really want to thank y'all. This has been a great conversation.
Bro.
And yeah, this has been awesome. Thank y'all for doing this.
Throw a little, my boy.
That's today's episode of Soundcheck. You can check out Mike Will Made It and Trouble's Edgewood album on streaming services right now. You can listen to more episodes of Soundcheck and keep up with everything Hype Radio at hypebeast.com/radio. Subscribe to Soundcheck on Apple Music, SoundCloud, Overcast, or whatever you listen to podcasts on. Feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at ECM_LP and follow Hypebeast Music for more original content and music news. Let us know who you like to have on the show, and thank you for listening to Soundcheck.